Representative Mindy Fee. Welcome to the Legislative Report. We're here in the 37th District. I'm honored to be able to represent 3 boroughs in my district. I have East Petersburg, Manheim, and today we are in Denver Borough. We're with Mike Hession, who's the borough manager, so we're going to hear all about what's happening in Denver. But Mike, first tell me, talk about your history a little bit, because you have been borough manager here for a number of years. You were here when I came in. Actually, you were quite helpful to me. It was wonderful having somebody who knew the ropes. But talk a little bit about your history.
Yeah, I've been here in Denver Borough 20 years now. So I'm celebrating a longer anniversary than I ever thought. It's a great community, work with a very good council and staff. Obviously our relationship with you and from the state end, that's helped us, and we've really seen the community grow over the last 20 years. We were sort of a core Lancaster County type community. Being this close with the turnpike cutting through and a turnpike exit, we've seen growth. We've seen people come from outside of the area, both towards the eastern part of the state and the central part of the state. So we aren't any longer just that small little Denver. We are sort of part of this bigger region.
You are, and I'm fortunate enough, my office is housed right in the municipal building, so we work hand in hand. Linda Martin, my office manager, is often staffed up here. But it is wonderful to have a great working relationship, because sometimes with all the different municipalities, the state level, it's hard to interact, but it is very seamless within the 37th district, and especially within this community. So there's 3,800 people, and tell us what's happening. What is new?
Well, we are standing in the second largest Denver in the country, for people who don't know that. We do consider ourselves the mile-wide town. We aren't the mile-high, we're the mile-wide town. Nice. But we have a very nice mix of industry. We're trying to work on our downtown development to improve our downtown area. We have the Calico School District located in the borough, and we have a series of first-rate park system here in the community. It's a very nice place to settle. It's a nice place to live. It's safe, it's clean, and we like to think it offers opportunities for not only people who live here now, but their kids to stay and raise families as they get older here in the community.
Absolutely, and you have some great businesses in here, so you know the jobs are here also.
Sure, and as I said, we've always had a strong industrial core, and that has changed over time, but we've been fortunate enough to keep that industrial core. So our focus now, since all of our industrial buildings are filled and actually growing, is to look at Main Street and our downtown area, and how do we then try to improve that so that people who live in the community are comfortable with shopping in the community, getting all their needs met, and being able to enjoy their experience here.
And you're not alone in that as a borough, because I mean that is throughout Lancaster County, and even the Lancaster County Economic Development Team. I mean, those folks work hand in hand with our boroughs, and we are seeing great growth, you know, be it restaurants or new shops or just professional businesses coming to a town like this.
Yeah, and there's things we could do as a community. Obviously, we're trying to retrofit an older downtown area where you have narrow lots and buildings that are long but don't have much space. So we need to make sure we're working that our zoning requirements meet what people are looking for to come in. You don't have maybe the sort of township-wide parking restrictions. You have to focus it more on a borough. At the same time, you need to blend that with people living in downtown and people working in downtown.
And you have a great council who works and wants to help people be successful in this town.
Yeah, they're made up of, they cover all sort of gamuts of professional, and they really want to be able to come in and listen to the community and get things done. They're very active in getting involved with what we do. Later this week, we're going to be planting trees. I expect there'll be a couple council members there planting trees, as well as meeting with the fire company. They're very proactive, want their experience here in Denver to be worthwhile as well. So,
tell about your tree planting, because you do that once a year?
Yeah, we are a Tree City USA. It's our 20th year as being a Tree City USA, something we're very proud of. And this year we're going to be planting 68 trees in a riparian buffer area in the center of downtown, actually right behind the former Denver House building.
Sure.
So it's accomplishing a couple things. One, it's getting people involved in the community. It's improving sort of our footprint as to what we do as a community environmentally, as well as it meets some of our Chesapeake Bay MS4 requirements. And we were fortunate enough to do that with a grant, so that that the money from the state paid for this, but now we have to get the volunteers, and we have a very core group of people, not only residents but also students who go to the Calico School District who want to get involved. So I think 68 trees will easily be planted within an hour and a half, which I'm hoping, and then we'll be able to move on to the next project.
I know, I got to come one year when you were doing some up and down Main Street also, and it's a great program. Tell me about some of the, we always talk about the regulations that come down through government, and and with the MS4 permitting, I have some communities that are affected greatly by it. Others, they have to get their MS permitting done, but their 10% reduction, which is a DEP regulation, isn't quite as hard to make. But talk about some of the regulations that come down to a borough level.
Sure. The big one now that we're dealing with obviously is stormwater at MS4, and that's the one that's going to be the most costly to us. We're a build-out community, so we don't have a growing tax base. We don't have many more areas of the borough that are going to build. So we essentially are working with what we have. And now as we have these new criteria that we need to meet, which we understand the importance of being good stewards of our water and good stewards of the environment, it gets difficult in a small borough to be able to meet some of those. For instance, in this cycle that we're going through now, we have enough projects to meet our criteria, but after 5 years when we go through our next permit, we're probably going to have to spend our money outside of the borough to meet our stormwater requirements.
Well, I tell you, we worked with EPA on that and did a pilot program over on the other end of my district, because truly, and I said to EPA directly, I'm like, our municipalities, Manheim's 1 square mile, as is close to Denver, and you're right, we can't bring in businesses, we can't change it, we can't help trying to deflect the cost a little bit, and it's on the citizens that live within those districts, so we have to keep working on that. So economically, doing with economic development, there are a lot of things happening. We're going to go visit 2 that are up and coming. But tell me about some other ones in the town.
Sure. The 2 you're going to visit, the borough was involved with on different levels. The Courtyard Cafe, the borough actually got a grant years ago and purchased the property and then renovated it. We had a building that was used at one time as a flower shop, then became an apartment. We were trying to make sure that we kept commercial downtown, at least on the first floor. So we realized we had to go out and actually buy these buildings, which we did, and then we made renovations, turned around and sold it. And now the people that you're going to go visit at the Courtyard Cafe have really taken off with that. They've expanded, they've grown, and it's really a core business that we have here in town. And then the other one you're going to look at is the Denver House. The former Denver House is going to be the Declaration House. Was a large sort of anchor type building downtown, which is in a state of decay. And when that type size of a building in our community decays, it impacts everybody else.
Sure it does. It reaches the whole block and can expand more.
Right. So the borough is very excited the fact that someone has taken over ownership of that building, has plans together to renovate it. We even provided some seed money to assist with those renovations out of our downtown fund. And we're hoping that growth and that change is going to spill over into other areas in the borough. We've had a few new businesses come in town. As our community ages, people change. We had a former pizza place that eventually closed down after 30 years. Now we have a realtor who's in there and an auctioneer. So we're trying to constantly retrofit and move new businesses in so that people, again, have a place to shop, have a place to eat, have a place to just recreate, and also have a place to work.
Yeah, and I tell you, I must give kudos to you, because I hope people understand and appreciate what a great manager you are here, because you do go to bat. I'm telling you, you're always looking for grants and you're trying to find ways to really help this community, and that's a great thing.
Well, we realize we just, obviously need help in doing what we need to do, and partnership's a big component here in Denver, whether we're doing something at the park and we're partnering with some of the recreation providers, or whether we're trying to contact you at the state to help us to do what we're looking to do. We realize that we need that partnership to grow and to strengthen, and we really appreciate all the help we receive.
Sure, it's teamwork. And I also want to point out, not only do you only work on different levels, but within municipalities, you're also great at being able to reach out to East Cocalico, West Cocalico, and be able to have conversations and make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, if we can get by with doing something where we don't have to reinvent the wheel, that's great. We are very comfortable with taking an idea that works somewhere else and making it ours.
Absolutely, I believe in that one.
That's
Share
right.
ideas, right?
So if it works there and it can work here, or maybe it needs to be changed a little, that we're happy, and it benefits our community as well.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate you spending
Thank
time
you.
with us. Next, I believe we're going to head down to the Courtyard Cafe and see all the great things happening in that building that you originally helped with.
Great.
Thanks.
Good seeing you.
Take care.
Yep.
So we're in the middle of the Courtyard Cafe, and we're here with Courtney at a very busy lunch hour, and the smells coming from here are absolutely delicious. But welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
We appreciate it. So, Courtney, we were up with Mike Hessian at the borough office, and we were talking about this building and part of the revitalization program of downtown Denver. But it's your love, it's your passion, truly, this business. So
It really is.
how did that come to be? Why do you love cooking so much?
I feel like it kind of goes like with our like my grandma loved to bake and cook, my mom loved to bake and cook. Like I've loved to do it since I don't even know how long, but for a long time. And back in middle school and high school, like when you're needing to figure out your careers, I was always like, what do I want to do? But I just love people and I loved food. And then eventually after I went to college, figured out this was exactly what I wanted to do.
This was it.
Yeah.
Do you have a background in cooking in college, or you?
I went for hotel and restaurant management to Penn State.
Okay.
So that was a great foundation. But then experience is
and you're
huge.
Great at it also.
Yeah, thank you so
your
much.
Cooking, I've had a number of your dishes. It's delicious.
Thank you.
So why did you pick Denver?
I grew up right on 6th Street, and this was just my town, and I wanted something to bring to our town. Like when we figured out that, okay, cafe, yeah, that's what we want to do. Like it was kind of a no-brainer to do it here. Like we didn't even really look at other towns.
Listen, I live in my hometown too. I love it. It's part of, there's a lot of people move away, but I'm one that I love it. And I raised my children there and my grandchildren there.
That's awesome.
So you're also a mom, right?
Yes, a little 2-year-old.
A little 2-year-old.
Busy 2-year-old.
So how do you balance that? I mean, that's not easy to run a business.
It definitely was tricky at first. I would say the first couple months were very hard for me because the day before he was born, I thought I was going to come back full time. I didn't see another way because I just love what I do. But then he was born, and then that stole my heart. And but now it's just been so amazing. Like the staff, like our team members that we have are just really awesome. Like it gives me such a peace just when I'm with him that
just knowing they're in good hands. So how many employees are there here?
There are 9 of us right now.
There's 9.
Yeah.
And
so two full-time plus myself, and then the rest are all part-time.
And who does the baking and the cooking? Is that solely your responsibility, or do you have others that help?
I do a lot of the baking. There's another girl, Janelle, who does a lot of the baking that I'm thrilled to have her on board because she does an amazing job with muffins and scones and cookies and soups, and we make all of our dressings from scratch. So a lot of the girls have learned to do all that and follow our recipes. So.
I was going to say, let's talk about your recipes.
Yeah.
So are they family handed down? Are they newer? Because and a lot are very
kind
healthy.
Of both. Yeah.
I mean, which is a huge push right now.
Yeah. Sure. I was actually, before I decided that cafe was what we wanted to do, I was debating nutritionist or opening a cafe. I just love food, but I love learning about the health of the food as well. So all of our, we make all of our dressings from scratch because we don't want all the extra sugar and all that added in, and as far as baked goods, there's definitely some non-healthy baked goods, but we try and have a good balance of gluten-free and dairy-free and refined sugar-free items too.
So there's a little bit of everybody for everybody's diet.
Yeah.
And you have monthly specials, right?
Yes. And I love putting those together. Some of my girls have really helped to come alongside and give their input too, but it's fun to play with seasonal things. Whatever's in season is fun to.
It's amazing. I sit on the Ag Committee up in Harrisburg, and we talk about food all the time, but people want to know where their food come from. And we in Lancaster County, we get it. I mean, the farms are right beside us.
Yeah.
But I have other members in the House from Philadelphia, and they don't quite understand exactly where their food comes from. And I always say, we have such a diverse state. It's important that we get out and visit each other's districts.
Right. I love the summertime when we can go to get the fresh tomatoes and all that stuff. It's so much better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, being with the state and regulations, how do you feel about that? I know there's a lot of food safety issues that you have to deal with, and how do you maneuver that? Is it okay, or?
I feel like it's been really well. We get ServSafe certified every year, and someone from the state comes out and a surprise. We have no warning until they walk through the door. But I feel like we've been doing a really great job we keep things clean, we keep things organized and stuff like that. So I feel like it hasn't been too much of it's still a panic when they walk through, but it's okay, but we got this. It's okay.
So now you're open for breakfast, for lunch?
And for dinner.
Yep. And then you also have a whole catering side of it, right?
Yes.
So tell people what that involves.
We have been branching out, doing a lot more catering. We do espresso bars at weddings and businesses and church functions.
How great. I earlier did a Weaver Nut one where they did a candy bar at a wedding, and then you could have an espresso bar at a wedding.
That would be so fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So that's been we're actually doing one tonight at the Legion tonight, like showing off our espresso bar and stuff. So that kind of stuff is really fun. And then we've been doing, now that we renovated this side, we do baby showers and birthday parties and bridal showers. So we can cater stuff here, or we also go
Off-premise.
away. Yeah.
That's nice. And are you getting new faces in all the time?
Yeah.
That you see walking
We
in
have
the
so
door?
many familiar faces, which is really exciting to always see. I love just seeing the regulars because that's just exciting. And most of the people I never knew before, we opened our doors, but now they feel like friends and family that come in. Some really feel like I've known them for years and years and years. So that's exciting. But there's always new faces.
What's your favorite part about the business?
I would say the people. Like first I would always think, oh, the food. Like I love playing with food, but I really love the people. Like the coworkers that I have and just the customers.
That's great.
Really make my day.
Well, we'll make sure we put your webpage up, and
Yeah.
and your menu's always displayed on the webpage,
Yes,
right?
and we always put our specials up every month also on Facebook and Instagram and our website as
People
well.
can call in, order,
Oh,
or come in
absolutely.
and have a lovely breakfast,
Absolutely.
lunch, or dinner.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
letting us come into your
Thank you.
business and sharing a piece of it.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
And next we'll head across the street to see the Declaration House and see what's happening there.
Did you know that Fort Indiantown Gap, located in Lebanon County, is home to Pennsylvania's only Veterans Memorial? C.J. Frederick of Westchester, Bucks County, submitted the winning design that now honors those men and women who have sacrificed their lives in defending this great country. Dedicated to the Commonwealth on October 7, 2001, the Veterans Memorial is surrounded by freestanding walls and houses an amphitheater, which can accommodate large crowds during an event. Strategically placed in the front of the amphitheater is a tomb that reminds visitors of those who gave their lives protecting the freedoms of this nation. The design suggests a war-damaged structure in which Frederick wanted to impress upon those visiting the horrific arena of war. Now you know.
So coming from the Courtyard Cafe, we are now at the Declaration House right across the street, and we're with Rod Redkay, who's the mayor of Denver, but also this project is basically your baby, right?
Yes, I'm the executive director of Real Life Community Services.
Right, which is housed across the street.
Which is right across the street. It's just amazing where we've come in such a short time. I had a vision a number of years ago to really make a big impact with our community and helping at-risk youth and families in need. And so had this vision to start this organization from scratch. And it's been incredible since 2011 when I left my career to start this nonprofit organization, and to grow it to where it's at today has just been incredible. Our focus really is to help those families who are in need with at-risk youth. So we have a youth center right across the street. We acquired the old Denver Bible Church back in 2014, and we turned it into a youth center. So we have a couple nights a week where youth can come out and show them a fun time, a safe place where they can come out. And
How important that is too.
it is, you know, in our small community, and the biggest question is kids like, what do we do? You know, there's nothing to do, and this gives them an opportunity. And then we also, next to that facility, there's a house, which was a parsonage back in the day of the pastor who was pastoring the church. We had that building. It's a 2-story, 1,000 square feet building that we converted into a transitional home for moms who are coming out of the Good Samaritan shelter, giving the mom an extra year of care.
I just love the way that you talk about a helping hand up. Yeah. That's what you're doing over there.
Exactly. And so, again, we saw this and it just kind of came together because there were so many needs here in our community. And quite honestly, they're hidden. We don't see poverty like you would see in the streets of Lancaster or Philly or Harrisburg, those places, but they are here. There are people here. It's incredible to think about. The school district has over 40 students now that are homeless in our community. It's just unheard of. So incredible. We saw an opportunity. Back in 2015, we had a group of people who are concerned citizens, pastors, leaders in the community that had an idea of how we can impact our community. And so we actually did a social service assessment of our community. And we got together, sat around the table for a year, just pondering what are the needs in our community. We visited other social service organizations around the county. We then had 4 community conversations asking the community members what makes a community great. What are the barriers that are preventing our community from getting there? What can be done and who should do it?
And hence this building.
And hence this building. What we found is there's 5 things our community is in need of. Number 1, by far, is affordable housing. Number 2 is affordable health care. Number 3, affordable dental care. And there's a need for a social service office right here in downtown Denver. There's a lot of needs, as we talked about, and the closest social service center is in Ephrata, 6-7 miles away. So there's a great need here right where the needs are. And then there's a need for transportation. So we saw an opportunity where this facility, the old Denver House, can be converted into a Declaration House by meeting 4 out of those 5 needs. Providing affordable housing, which is...
Yeah, because let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
So your vision is to have some apartments upstairs.
Yes, we're
2,
gonna-
3 bedroom?
2 bedroom or 1 bedroom. So
Okay,
there's
1 or 2 bedrooms.
Yep, and then there'll be 10 of them, each having their own bedroom or 2, and bathroom and kitchen and living space.
And that's affordable housing.
Yes,
I
it's
mean,
gonna-
that's where people are going to work and
Yes.
trying to help pay their rent, and mainly single moms you're going to look at. Is that
Well,
right or
obviously,
not?
our vision is already started with Good Samaritan Shelter and giving the women transition out of the shelter. But out of that, from our facility in the transition home, where do they go from there? You know, and trying to provide small steps to get them out of poverty into self-sustainability. So this isn't specifically designed for women. Anyone can apply, but they have to meet the income requirements, 50 or 60% of the median income or less.
Okay.
So it is really designed for those people who desperately need it.
Great. And then on the first floor,
Yeah, so the exciting part is that Real Life Community Services is going to have an office that is designed for our social worker who can meet with families in need here in the community and connect them with the resources. Also, our other staff, our administrator, our director of development will have a place that they can come to and work out of. I'll have an office there as well. And then the great thing is Welsh Mountain Health Centers in New Holland is coming in here to provide medical care, dental care, behavioral health counseling services to our community, which is desperately needed. They're
one of the things, I just want to interrupt, one of the things I found as a legislator very quickly is that with our human services, so many of them work in silos. You know, and to navigate that, if you're a person in need, would be not an easy task. And you're kind of wrapping it all in one package to try and help people, again, raise themselves up.
Right. There's a need here where in our community where you can't have separate organizations coming into this town. We're not that big, you know. But what we do have is those needs. So we are becoming that hub of social services for our community. So we aren't going to be the one-stop shop, but what we can do is direct them and actually navigate the social service waters with these families to get them the help that they desperately need, and then follow up with them and making sure that they are following the right track and they're getting out of the situation that they're in.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, your mission is just incredible to me. So the building, I saw it early on before it was gutted, and what a difference it's already made.
Well,
but let's talk about the timeline and go through that.
It's been incredible. This building was built in 1863. It was the hallmark of Denver. It was the most beautiful structure here. It's over the years has obviously become in disrepair. And like many of its kind in communities like this, has become a boarding house. Because of the way it's set up, it's a 22-unit hotel bar.
Okay.
Was operating for almost a century. And so we saw an opportunity. We could take this old blighted building, and the unfortunate part of being a hotel bar and the rooms, 22 units, is a lot. They were small rooms.
Right.
20 of those units shared 3 bathrooms. So you can imagine the struggle that was here and the blight that has been created. And unfortunately, the previous owners just did not manage it well. and did not really care about the people living here or this community. And the building became in disrepair, and it was a huge drain on the resources in our community. It was the highest police call volume in town.
Oh my.
And you know, we had the chance where we saw, as a nonprofit organization, how we can take the worst blighted property in Denver and transform it into the most beautiful structure again, like it once was 100 years ago.
And what else is great about it? We talked to Mike Hessian earlier, you know, because we're talking all about Denver and the revitalization programs that are in place. It's where government and private money can come together and make quite a difference.
Yeah. So
then that's what we should all be striving for.
This is a Herculean task, and this cannot be done by just one organization. We saw the opportunity where we can use, as a nonprofit organization, use our resources for asking for grants and donors, in-kind donations, and those type of things to really take this property and rebuild it to what it needs to be. So we have now, it's a $3.5 million capital campaign, but we are excited to be over $2 million in
That's fabulous.
in
I
our
gotta clap for
commitments.
that. Yeah,
And
that's
it's-
fabulous.
So it is well on its way. We have a great team of people that have rallied together. One shout out is to LHOP, Lancaster Housing Opportunity Partnership. This is what they do. They're an organization that really helps revitalize a community, taking blighted properties like this and transforming them into affordable housing units. And this is exciting to see them partner with us, see the value of Denver in Lancaster County, not just focused on Lancaster City, but looking at a rural part of the county in Denver and putting their resources to work to help us get this project off the ground.
We have about 30 seconds left. What's the completion date?
So that's a very good question, and it all depends, Mindy, on how much money we can get in. We've come a long way. We still got to get some money together to raise for this project before we can break ground. I know we're going to get the money by the end of the year. I know this is going to be up and running by sometime in 2019.
And listen, I'll tell you what I know. I know there's no better man for the job. So you're it, Rod.
Thank
so
you, Mindy.
thank
I
you.
appreciate
You
it.
bet.
You're great help.
Always. We always appreciate you.
It's fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank you for joining us for another legislative report here in the 37th District. If you have any state-related needs, you can always contact my office right up the street at the Denver Municipal Building or in Manheim Borough. Thank you. Until next time.